Episode 15 of the Vision Board podcast is part 2 of Tate Fletcher. I know you guys have been hanging out for it for a few days now, so I won't keep you too much longer. But I'm Tristan Cannell, alongside me as always, Johnny Stuffco.
What's up, guys? Part 2.
Yeah, part 2 is going to be awesome. On the day, there was electric. He was in Miami, we were in Sydney, as we've been, if you've just tuning into part 2 instead of going back to part 1. But stay tuned for Tate. But before that, just a quick shout out to our sponsors, Jackrabbit Slim's Barbershop and also the Organic Trainer.
Yeah, check our sponsors out. Jackrabbit Slim's Barbershop, Sydney, Australia, King's Cross, Potts Point. Give Dre a call when you're setting up your appointment, whether it's a beard trimming or a haircut. Our other sponsor for this version of the podcast is The Organic Trainer. Check them out at www.theorganictrainer.com. Get all your exercise tea needs, get a flask, proceed to the checkout, get 10% off by using keyword The Vision Board. Let's do this.
Awesome. Here's part 2, guys.
It makes me wanna creep.
I got something for your mind, your body, and your soul. I got something for your mind, your body, and your soul.
The Vision Board Podcast, hosted by...
Let's talk Caveman Coffee, man. How did that come about? Yeah, tell us a little bit more about how the company started and
Where could you find it at? Like, I haven't been in America in I haven't lived there in 2 years. Can I walk into the 7-Eleven on, Fremont Boulevard and grab a Caveman Coffee, or is it online?
No, it's online mostly, and then we're just, to get into stores and all that stuff, you got to get like brokers and people to do that are already embedded with the stores.
Yeah.
And so we're just going through that kind of a thing right now and looking into that. But we started off kind of as a fluke in a way. Like, the way we started was Lacey Mack and myself. Lacey worked for a really high-level film star, like the highest level film star, like Kanye drops his names in songs kind of film star, and so she'd be on a month, off a month, and then I would be working in and out of films, and I was working a ton then, and we were off for the month, and we're like, let's get a truck together, and we'll do a coffee truck, and we'll get it at the CrossFit Games, and we'll make $100,000 that weekend. Well, it wasn't as easy as I thought it was. So we started doing it anyway, and there's a lot of nefarious people that run all the food trucks in LA, and we got to have an education with them, and then there's a lot of bureaucratic stuff to do, and so we learned a lot with that, and then it kind of came and went. We both had our own jobs to go to, but we went to my friend's CrossFit gym, and we did an event there. We did a couple little things here and there. And then I got on this movie Transcendence, and then I was hooked up with Keith again, which is weird the way our lives have fucking, gone in and out, come back together again. It's wild. So I'm on this thing with him, and I was talking all about, butter coffee and single origin coffee and how to find single estate roast, why that was preferable, coconut oil, blah, 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 blah. Ketogenic diets, I was really big into that. So I'm talking about this new kind of way of eating and behaving with food. And coffee was a big part of that. And so Keith had a couple bad fights at 185, and then he started talking to me about nutrition and started looking into these things. So then he kind of got sold on it. And then he met these roasters, these Colombian dudes that were exiled. They fled from Colombia, actually. They had several kidnapping attempts on them because Colombia is kind of a whacked out, crazy, anything goes kind of place. And they had a coffee plantation, their family did. So they'd had attempted kidnappings on them. Juan and David, fantastic guys. And they're our roasters today. And Keith had met them, and the first time we met them, they go, hey, dude, you got to try this white coffee. And so we went down and tried this coffee. And I'd kind of been like, on Twitter, I'd been like talking, I talk about like whatever I'm into. And so I'm talking about coffee, and I fucking tried this new thing. And I'm always trying to, like, whatever I like, I'm trying to blow that shit up. I'm trying to expose that to people, whatever. And I don't know if it helps or not, but so I do that, and I'm trying to help in wherever I can. And then dudes would be like, hey, dude, I've got this single origin coffee that's my favorite, and I live in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Let me send you a bag. And I go, and I'm kind of like, fuck, I'm like skeptical. I'm like, I don't know if I want dudes on the internet to have my address or not or whatever, but I'll communicate with them, and then we would send coffee back and forth. And I go, dude, O'Horry's is the fucking best. it's that fucking brewed up in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and you fucking love it. And I'd send them a bag. They'd send me a bag. I sent bags. I paid $100 to send a bag of coffee to a dude in Australia to go, hey, try this out, see if you like it. And like I would get crazy. And so I had this like impromptu coffee club on Twitter. There wasn't paying anybody money. It was just a bunch of coffee nerds sharing fucking coffee with each other. And so anyway, that was me. And then Keith introduced me to these cats, and they own this company called Via Miriam and Via Miriam Farms. And it's all hand-picked, and by hand, like most companies come in and they have a machine that comes and just takes all the beans off the whatever plant, and they'll get ripe at different times. And so hand picking is the best way. So we hand pick all ours, and we pick out which ones don't have insect bites and which ones are the right color. And they go through that, and then they go through cold processing, and they go through all this like high rigorous kind of servicing before they become our beans in America. Anyway, David and Juan had fled in like, I guess, the 90s from their latest kidnapping. They got to Miami. They're living, I think, with an aunt or something. And then she was like, fell in love with a dude that was on an airline in fucking Albuquerque. So they moved to Albuquerque with her. That's how they ended up from Colombia to there. And then they go, fuck this. They worked in city government. They did all kinds of shit. And they go, let's do our father's fucking roasting. And so they started importing beans, and then they started roasting. So anyway, I'm in their warehouse. Keith meets them, and we're drinking this white coffee. And they're making espresso shots, and we're high as fuck on espresso. Just fucking, and I'm like, wow, this is great. Let's fucking, it was like two guys on coke in the bathroom in Vegas going, dude, if I got a fucking deal for you, you be the money guy, I'm the idea guy. Let's fucking do this, man.
Yeah.
Give me another shot. And fucking, we're just high as fuck on espresso. So anyways, I go, dude, we got to talk to Lacey. Because Lacey's got a great business acumen, too. She's a brilliant, brilliant woman, great athlete, all-around beauty. And Keith's like, all right, cool. And I go, we got to share this coffee with people. I got a bunch of nerds on Twitter that would love this shit. And so I try to get this. I'm like, can you roast more of this? They're like, yeah. We go through cupping. We do. I know more about coffee than I ever thought I would ever know. Anyway, I started sending these bags of coffee out to fucking dudes all over that were in my little Twitter club. And I'm like, what do you guys think? And da-da-da-da-da. And then Lacey figures out, she's like, we should start a web page. I go, yeah, cool. And so she starts building a web page. And she builds up a web page. And she sends it to me. And I'm like, cool, like, whatever, man. That sounds awesome. We can just share it this way. And people can just give in their addresses and we can just ship it out or whatever. I wasn't really thinking about even starting a business then. And Keith was like, we got to start a business. And then Lacey's like, well, I don't know, do you like it? I did another tweak. Boom, and she hits publish on the webpage, so now it's live. But we're not ready for that at all. So we started kind of behind the 8 ball, and we started going like that. And then I fucking design a bag, and we don't even have a name, Caveman Coffee. We get a fucking name. My friend Travis Nawaza, he's like, dude, Caveman Coffee, it's perfect for you. That's great. I was like, yeah, rad. So we do all that, and we go through trademarking hassles with it because I don't know fuck all about anything really. And so we learn all this stuff as we go, and this is how our company starts. It starts by running downhill juggling eggs.
How long ago was that?
What's that?
How long?
It was about 2 years ago.
Okay, cool, man.
Yeah. And so then my friend goes, hey, dude, I just started a gym in Manhattan. Can you guys put a coffee bar in? And I go, of course we can. We'd never done that. And so, me and Keith then we're on John Wick, and we happen to be in New York anyway, and Lacey comes out, and we put a fucking coffee bar together in Brick, Chelsea. And now we're in Brick, Chicago, and we're in Brick, Grand Central Station, and then we're in Boston, and then we're in Atlanta, and we're in a couple gyms in LA. And so you can get us in gyms a lot. We have a standalone place in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and it looks like we'll be maybe dipping our line into licensing coffee shops because people are kind of into that. But
when you come to Sydney,
now Whole Foods is kind of courting us, and we're looking out how to do a deal with those kinds of people for our cold brew, for our nitros and stuff. And we got a line of teas coming out with MCT and stuff like that.
cool, man.
So that's kind of in a nutshell.
Have
the
you
way
been,
it went.
have you tried? Have you been to Australia?
No.
Yeah, man. There's such a huge. Basically from the moment I stepped off the plane, there's such a huge coffee culture here. So
Dude, it's rad. I get more like the biggest fans that listen to me on fucking Pirate Life Radio. It's
Aussies.
besides America, it's Australia and Canada. It's
Yeah.
like fucking Australia's off the hook though. My Snapchat, it's like basically all Australians that are just it's awesome, man. It's fucking rad. I'm like, how the fuck do you hear about? Like, it's so cool. It's so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fucking privilege, man. And then, you know, I mean, that's the kind of stuff too. Is I go, you got to start taking yourself more seriously. Like, not taking myself more seriously, but like, be more thoughtful about. Like, it makes me continue to grow. I'm like, fuck. There's young dudes out there that are looking at like. I mean, you should see the advice questions that I get and things like that, and it's just like, it just, you know, people around me needing me more makes me raise my game more, and it's been like a cycle like that, you know. I needed guys, and I'm fucking great, and that, you know, what do I think is success? Fuck, man, I think that for me it's simpler than what Derek Sievers has said. You know, for me, what really touches my heart, and I believe 100% what Derek said too. I'm really on board with a lot that he says. But what I'd love to say is that all the guys that, you know, I had a lot of help. There's a lot of talk out there. Everybody gets really grandiose about this stuff about like, you know, when people say it to me, they go, "Dude, I like you because you're a self-made man. You're a self-made man." And you see T-shirts on. I think there's probably a T-shirt company called Self-Made. And I think there's nothing more short-sighted or disrespectful that you could say to me than that, maybe. Because it really degrades every guy that took time with me and everybody that ever fucking loved me when they shouldn't have, and everybody that ever helped me and said a kind word, or everybody that ever beat me and fucking I learned a lesson from. And it dismisses all of that. And I'm not, man. Without my community and without the people around me and without the people that have loved me and supported me and everything around me, I certainly wouldn't be where I am today. And so I don't believe in a self-made man in that way. But what I do think of as success is that all those guys that helped me, I want them to be able to look at my life, whether they're dead or alive, and go, you know, I didn't waste my time on that woman. I didn't waste my time on that kid.
Yeah.
And I want them to know that it was time well spent and that I fucking recognize it and that it matters, man. And that it mattered to me. It made all the difference.
Yeah.
And that's what I, you know, that's what I think of as successful, is those guys thinking of me like that. And then also being able to be that for somebody else. What a fucking privilege. And so if somebody comes to me for help, I take it fucking seriously.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times it is life and death for those people, you know. And they come and they go, "Hey, how do I get help? How do I get out of this situation?" Or wherever. And if I don't have a real answer, man, then shame on me for even saying. But you better bet your ass that you can count on whatever you fucking ask me 100% to be real with you. And if I don't know the answer, I'll let you know, and I'll go and I'll find out, because I got a huge amount of people out there that are dying to help people too, and they'll fucking help me find the answer.
Yeah, I heard you say
And
that before, man.
That's the biggest thing in life, you know. That's the biggest part of life. That's a successful life to me.
When you said that people, you know, the word they said you're self-made, that's offensive. If I had to say one word, why, like we reached out to you and Tate Fletcher, I think it's authentic. I think being authenticity is,
Thanks.
yeah, man, it's so rare, especially, you know, being you dive into so many different other organizations, as in maybe the fight game, the podcasting, the show, movies, Hollywood, business, entrepreneurship, all these things. But at the end of the day, you know what you're getting, and especially when, you know, you chat with a guy like you, that, man, that's so rare. So yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah, man. Well, I guess, you know, a time came where I just felt like it's all bullshit, right? It's all like a magic trick. The whole thing is, right? And so if that's the case, and everybody's scared inside this magic trick, then what's your job? It's to pull the covers away. And it's to fucking show people that it's okay, and to show people that they're not alone. Because that's the big illusion that we live by, is that we're alone. And it is an illusion. you know? And so I think, like, those are our jobs. If you're enlightened to that extent that you know that stuff, that's kind of to me, I take it as my responsibility to be able to be there in that kind of a way. And I think that whole thing about being authentic, why aren't people authentic? It's not because it's not the best way to be. It's because if you knew who I was, you wouldn't love me anymore. That's the base of it. If I told you who I really was, maybe you'd laugh at me. Fuck, man. I can understand why nobody wants to say what's real, you know? But at a certain point when somebody dies around you or something, because, not even because you said or didn't say something, but if somebody dies around you and you might have been able to say something that made a difference and you fucking held your mud because you're like, maybe it's not my business, this or that or whatever, and they're fucking dead, that's done. That is a wrap.
Yeah.
And after that happened to me, I go, never again, man. If anybody's ever fucking going, I might commit suicide, or they're acting in some way that's fucking really poor for their health in that way, you can count on me to fucking say some shit. I'm a loudmouth, man. I can't shut up about it. And I'll expose it because, and people go, oh, well, you're judgmental, you're this or that. Motherfucker, I know what the downside is. And the downside is such utter aloneness and depravity that you feel like there's nowhere to turn and that's it, and you do yourself. Like, that's kind of where it goes. And so there's a lot of levity in my life, but there's always that other side of it too. It's that paradox, man. Yeah, there's a lot of lightness and love and light in my life, but man, there's this specter of darkness that's right there too. And to not recognize that, I would be remiss in being a human, and I would be just like a little kid whistling in the dark. And I recognize that stuff. I can laugh at it. It's not a big deal to me, but I know it's life and death to somebody else.
Yeah.
You know? And so I think that's the thing about being authentic is, like, you got to really go, there's nothing to fear. You know, Jamie Foxx just had a great podcast on, what's his name, on Tim Ferriss.
Tim Ferriss.
Yeah.
And he goes, what's on the other side of fear? You know, he says, I ask my kids that all the time. What's on the other side of fear? You're scared to do this thing. I go, I don't know. He goes, nothing. There's nothing there. There's nobody judging you. There's nobody on the other side going,
Exactly.
you're going to win, you're going to lose, this or that. It's just, you're nervous about some shit.
Yeah.
Fucking go and do it anyway. There's nothing there.
Have you heard the acronym? Have you heard the acronym for fear? We said false evidence appearing real, because all fear is our mind and ourself telling us about something. Like, once you're able to see this shit, there's no such thing as fear. I think it goes to show, like, being in control of that and not allowing these, I guess, the unknown. If somebody doesn't have it laid out in front of them, the path, they fall into that category. Oh, it's scary.
It's like worrying in that way. You know, I remember a dude said a long time ago about worrying, and he says, it's like you haven't taken out a loan yet from the bank. You don't even know if you're going to need that money, so you haven't taken out the loan, but you're going to pay interest on it for nothing. And, like, worrying is like paying interest on a loan that you're never going to take out, you know? It doesn't fucking get you any money. It doesn't get you happiness. I mean, it's good to notice what is maybe going to be a downside later. It's good to weigh all see all that stuff. But, like, to worry about it and to spend time in it, that's a robbery, man. Yeah. And fear is like that. Fear is a robbery. It's a thief.
Yeah.
I think so as well, man. Tate, just on a lighter note, man, just with your stunts, right? I watched a video of you the other day, right? And you were running on top of a bus, a yellow bus, and it was going full speed ahead.
Schwarzenegger's movie.
Yeah.
The Last Stand.
Is that real?
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
While it was moving?
Well, was that?
Like, it was in motion while you were running?
Yeah. It was that was a gag that we rehearsed for a couple days. How it starts is I come up a ladder on a roof, and there's a gunfight going on down the street. And I go and I look there, and then I look over my shoulder, and I hear this bus coming. And the bus comes, and it takes a 90-degree turn down the street of the building I'm on the top of. It's like a 1.5-story building. So I'm, 40 yards from the edge of the building or something. And so I sprint. I turn and I sprint to the edge of the building. There's a little lip about 1.5 feet high. 1 foot on there, boom, and I launch. And I go and fucking land on the bus as the bus is driving by. And so there's some movie magic that goes on, but yeah, that's me running off the roof, jumping on the bus, and then the bus is then we cut another shot, and then I'm on top of the bus running, and then I kind of baseball slide down and land on the hood and turn up to go shoot the guy and get shot in the head and go under the bus.
Has there ever been a point,
That's
Tate?
the gist of the story. That's the gist of the story.
Yeah.
What-
Terrible storytelling. Horrible.
What about your other stunts, Tate? Has there ever been a point when you said, "Holy shit, what the hell have I got myself into,
Yeah,
man"?
right.
Yeah, dude, I don't give a fuck. If I'm gonna jump off a fucking like a 10-foot pedestal, 10 feet is high as fuck to look down and go, I gotta land on cement. I'm 10 feet in the air. I'm 240 pounds. Holy fuck!
Yeah.
I'm nervous all the time about that shit. Like, but you know, the last one I did that was crazy to me was crazy. There's guys. I mean, I'm like a little bitch because there's dudes that I know, like Jeremy Marinas and these guys, Danny Graham over at 8711. If you look up, I think it's 8711 stunts.
Yeah.
Holy fuck! Those guys, they're trickers. And mostly in their fight scenes and the way they do stuff, they're fucking phenomenal athletes. Jeremy's got a YouTube that he puts up a lot of stuff on, and he's just fucking dope. He's ill. They're top echelon stuntmen. So they move effortlessly and beautifully. I move lunking and fucking, I'm a clumsy bitch. And they're tough as shit, those kids. And I was on a job for a Ben Affleck movie. It was after Ben did the Batman movie, right? And it'll be out in October. It'll be out in a while. We filmed it last April. But there's a scene in there where I'm in a pickup truck, and the truck is in motion, 20 or 30 miles an hour, I don't know. And then it comes to an abrupt stop, and we're in the back of the truck, so you go over the top of the truck, and the whole, you know, you're in a full-on wreck, and you're just in your skin, you know. The thing is about film is it's like you do that, and then you do it 30 times, you know.
Yeah.
Get the angle right, and this and that. So it's like, but you're in a fucking wreck every single time. You know, it's
Yeah.
like you do it once for the movie that is in the movie, but that's not how it is. And so, like, that was, I think, you know, I was fucking knocked out for a second in part of that day. I'd broken my toe in another part, separated a tendon in my foot. And that was just the first 3 hours of the morning. And then I had another 11 hours of the day, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the way, like, you know, the film business is all glitzy and all that in a lot of ways, and it's dope. But then, like, those guys that are fucking for real ass stuntmen that are fucking, like, I know a guy that he's in 48 hours. I think it was the original 48 hours. There's a scene where a guy jumps out of the window. It's like a Nick Nolte, Ed Murphy film way back in the day.
Yep.
Jumps out of a window, or jumps off of a fire escape maybe, and he jumps into a garbage can, right? And it's filled with fucking stuff that he can sink into, but he splits it. And so he goes in one side, and I think the other side he goes to the cement, right? So he snaps his fucking, is it a tibia in your
Tibia.
lower leg?
The lower.
Snaps it. Compound fracture. Doesn't know it, because that scene he jumps off into the thing, and then he jumps on a motorbike, and he fucks off. And so he's got to then do a chase scene. So he's in motorcycle boots, which are hard and plastic, and he doesn't know he's broken his leg at all, let alone to that degree. And so he works the rest of the night, 5-6 hours or whatever it is, aching, goes home exhausted, has like an hour drive home, and is like, I should go to the hospital, but fuck it. And the boot is too tight, it's too swollen to get off, so he just goes to sleep. And he gets up, and it's just been bleeding, like his boot is filled with blood in the morning, and he goes, like, those are, like, so I go, oh, you separated a tendon in your foot, pussy? Like, I know guys that are like that, you know what I mean? I'm like, all right, you got nothing to bitch about, you know?
Yeah.
And it's all a privilege. It's cool to see how movies are made. Like, I never thought I'd be involved in life in this way, you know? I mean, when I look at it and I go where I thought I'd end up and where I thought I deserved to end up and where I've ended up, it's fucking, it's magical, man. It's magical.
Yeah, Tate. So we like asking all of our guests, for our audience listening and people listening, you know, to this, if there's somebody out there who's struggling, could you talk about, you know, maybe some words of inspiration, some motivational thing that maybe helped you get through something, somebody struggling with something?
is you've gone through, I think, is that there's somebody else that's gone through it. That's the beautiful thing about life. And this whole idea of separation in life, that's the real killer, I think, because when we don't feel like we can touch people or be involved with people that have gone through those things, we feel alone. We're alone. We're isolated. And it's just not true, it's a lie. But, I look at things like that, man, and I think, I remember my dad told me once a long time ago, he says, don't ever take a long-term solution on a short-term problem. And he says, that's a finance thing, right? Don't ever fucking take out a 30-year loan for something you just got to pay back this week or something like work it out a different way. And don't fucking kill yourself over a problem that you're not going to even remember in 6 months from now. Don't end a whole life for that, And those kinds of things were huge. But like the real huge part is like, it's like the Eeyore syndrome of like, oh, well, life's just bad to me, or I guess this is just how God made me, so it's just another sad day in paradise and whatever, or any of that stuff. Man, it's vital who I hang around. I got guys that I hang around solely because they just pick me up, man. I just feel so much better around them, my guys, my jiu-jitsu guys, Nate Harris, Ruben Rivera, Luis Castillo, like these kind of old school guys like that, man, they just make my heart sing. This dude that works with us at Caveman Coffee, Stephen Dunian, man, the kid is all love, and it just makes me feel fucking good to be around him. Yeah. I actually don't, he's not here with us this weekend, and I'm bummed. I don't feel as good as I would feel. I know, Steven, I know it sounds fucking whatever, but it's like I'm super, I need people, man.
Do you think you're an empath?
What's that?
Have you ever read about being like there's empaths feeling the world around you and absorbing it? Have you ever read anything about that?
I haven't read anything about it, but I understand the concept of it.
Yeah, like needing the positive, because the negative on the opposite side wears on you as well. So, yeah.
Dude, it's so big. I'd say anybody that's struggling, dude, I understand. Life's fucking hard. Yeah, I want to eat a pistol sometimes. My life is fucking beautiful. I just bought a brand new BMW, and I bought one for my fucking mom too. Okay.
Awesome.
How dope is that?
That's so awesome.
I go, and fucking my mom, I find out she's upside down, and I go, fuck. I go, what do you want? Let's go. And we just made the whole rest of the day about her. So my life is fantastic, man. I get to do that for a woman that cried over me for fucking years. And was scared of whether I was going to live or die, and what she brought, what kind of monster she brought into the world. That was her thoughts at sometimes. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
And sometimes it feels like so unbearable, and I go, fuck all this, I want to check out. I want to just sleep and not get up again. I get it, man.
Yeah.
I'm an old junkie. Yeah. I used to fucking just drown myself in booze so I wouldn't have to feel life. I get it. It's hard just to go. People go, oh, well, why is that? What were you drinking behind? Or what? That motherfucker, the day-to-day fucking hardship of getting up and fucking looking in the mirror and having to brush my fucking teeth and put my shoes on to go outside. Fuck you. Yeah. That was the enormity of the trouble in my life, and I couldn't bear it. I had to drink just to get through it and show up.
Yeah.
So, I get it. If you need to fucking have a bottle of whiskey or a fucking bottle of pills to get through the day, I understand. If that shit doesn't work for you anymore, I understand that too. And then you got to find another way, and that's when life opens up, right? But the thing is if you quit, you never get that chance. And I go, I need you to try, man. I need you to try because I might need you at some time. And there's a dude that told me that, and I never believed it because he had his shit so together. He was the dude I looked towards. He was my fucking lighthouse, man. He was the guy. Yeah. And then he needed me because he was fucking in the same spot and he tried to kill himself. Yeah. And I never thought that shit was real. But he'd say too, man, not every day is a Doris day. There's ups and downs, man. And fucking, I don't show up the same every day. It's like people talk about fighters. Fighting is a macrocosm of life, right? I got a daughter that I hadn't known. She was adopted when she was 3, and her mother stayed the same, and her mother was married to another guy when she was 6 months old, and I was just out of prison and fucking they adopted her and whatever. That's a whole different story. But I was talking. I've been lucky enough and fortunate enough to be reunited with her recently. And there's a couple things I tell her. Nobody's going to take care of you. You're on your own in that way. You got to show up fully accountable for yourself. In that case, you'll never ever be alone either. But the other portion of it all is like, I wish I could show her, like, I just want to show her, like, get excellence over your mind and body. Read these books. Come and study your body with these women. I know a bunch of great women athletes. And in that comes greatness in all things, right? And I know these things. But the thing is I can't tell her shit, because what the fuck could I possibly know, right? She's 19. She's killing it. She's doing her thing. She's got all her own answers. But the fact is that jiu-jitsu has taught me in a microcosm of 3 minutes. We start at 0 and 0. I go up 1 to 0. And like Hickson says, once I go to 1, I never go back to 0. Maybe I'm in your guard now. I've taken you down. I pass the guard. Boom. Now I'm at 2. And you're at 0. And once I go to 2, I never go back to 1. Then I go knee to belly. Now I'm at 3. And you're at 0. And then I mount. And then I'm at 4. And then I fucking finish. And now it's checkmate. Now I can go and we can reverse engineer that. And I can go, listen, you see where you fell down here? And you let me knee tap you and I came down? And you should have scrambled and got back up. But you didn't. And then this happened and I owned your hips. Like, you can see that and you can make those corrections. That happened in 3 minutes. So it's such a condensed period of time that we can all see what that was. Now, if I go, hey, this guy's kind of a negative loser that you're hanging around. He kind of dominates you a little bit. Where that road goes, because I'm old and I've seen this movie 10,000 times, is down here. Well, fuck, she's never going to see that. I'm telling her, like, that's a knee tap, and he's going to take you down, and you're going to be here. And you won't be in the best place to be able to move. You're going to have less options. And then you're going to have even less options. And then you're going to have less options. And then it's a finish.
Yeah.
But that's a lifetime. That happens over 5 years. You can't tell a 19-year-old that. And that's the beautiful thing about jiu-jitsu is it condenses life in this microcosm that mimics the macrocosm. And it allowed me to learn how to learn lessons that were bigger life lessons that I couldn't get my mind around the breadth of the lesson. But I could see it in a small room of jiu-jitsu. And then I go, oh, this is like that. And then the puzzles started to fit together.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's the same shit. And then I got smarter. And that's when my awareness, and I start noticing my awareness keeps raising. And I get more aware of how things are connected in a sociological way more. And that's, I know, I just thinking, I go, you sound crazy, Tate. But that's what,
No, man.
Nah, not at all, man.
Dude, that was everything. You broke that down explained that very well, even if somebody doesn't even know what jiu-jitsu is. They understand that. The methodology is there.
I think it's a beautiful thing to become excellent at something because of that. Because you become excellent in these small moments. And you can see how those small moments, it's like a set in comedy. I talked to Ari or Joe or something about comedy. And fuck, there's a bit for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, they can see where that was good. Ooh, then it fell apart right there. And, you know, but you have to analyze the life that way. You have to analyze the joke that way. You have to analyze the match that way.
Yeah. Do you listen to Alan Watts?
But if you never fucking compete, you never have a goddamn match to analyze. And so if you're too scared to compete, you're fucked. And that's why I go back to I need you to try. And I love Alan Watts, man. That's one of my heroes.
Yeah,
he's amazing. He's amazing.
He was way before his time, man.
Oh man, what a beautiful guy, you know. And that's another thing too. Everybody would say he's a philosopher. I'm not going to argue that, but what I will say is that the way that he, you know, like him, Marcus Aurelius, he was a doer.
Yeah.
So a lot of guys that are philosophers are out there and they're reading the instructions of a lot of little different diets or different fight modalities or different ways to race a car or different ways to fucking trim the sails on a sailboat to get it to bear the, you know. But they've never sailed a goddamn sailboat.
Yeah, man.
They've just read a lot of books about it. Yeah. I don't want to pontificate about all this stuff. I want to put this into functional use and go, does it cause my function and performance to be enhanced? And does it help those around me?
Yeah.
If it doesn't fit those criterion, you can miss me with your philosophy.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And so all that stuff about just all you have is palaver at a certain point until the rubber hits the road. And when the rubber hits the road, man, that's where magic happens. Because then you're kind of scared, your adrenaline's going, and you fucking really going, fuck it, I'm going to show my ass and I'm going to try.
Yeah.
And that's all we all got anyway.
Yep.
You know?
Definitely, man. Tate, I just want to thank you so much for your time. I know it's over there, it's late in Miami. I don't want to take any more of your time, man. Can you just
I
tell...
don't know, man. I love talking to
I
you.
love this stuff, man. I wish we could talk for another 2 hours, but I don't want to take
Yeah.
the time, man. But can you just tell the people out there the website for Caveman Coffee, a little bit
Sure.
about Pirate? You got also Pirate Life Radio.
Pirate Life Radio, yeah, you can find it on iTunes and Stitcher. I just had a great conversation with his strength coach, Zach Evanesh, and he's a beautiful, beautiful dude, man. And then I'm hoping to, with these guys that I had the seminar with, I'm going to do one tonight or tomorrow. And I want to do one with Lacey, too, and she's just such a fascinating person. But, so Pirate Life Radio you can find, and I think Tate G. Fletcher, I think Dudian's working on, and that's up, TateGFletcher.com, CavemanCoffee.com.
Social media, man.
I've got a couple other things going, like Nuevo Cerveza is a microbrew. A friend of mine, Marcos Aragon, started, and so we got a little microbrew and some awesome T-shirts and hats and shit on that site. Me and another buddy of mine, Rico Taylor, from a whole different life. Also, man, he's my brother. We have some nightclubs. Me and Dan Werrick and Rico and John Valls have a Concrete Cowboy through Texas. So we got one in Dallas, in Austin, and in Houston. We open up on the 21st. And so you can learn stuff on Concrete Cowboy Dallas. If you just search that, a lot of stuff will come up about that. If you're in Dallas and you're into the nightclub scene, it's a dope spot. And yeah, man. Deuce Gym, man. If you're in California, you can find me. That's where I work out, is at Deuce Gym. And my gym is Undisputed Fitness.
Is that Venice Beach?
Yeah, Venice Beach.
Yeah.
And Undisputed Fitness is in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Anyways, that's it.
Yeah.
And Tate Fletcher on Instagram. You can find me. I'm easy to find.
Yo, Tate, man.
Tate Maximus on Snapchat, though.
Tate, man, whenever you make the trip to Australia, to Sydney, definitely. Yeah, we'll show you a good time,
We'll
man.
show definitely a good
Yeah,
time.
Kyle's out there right now.
No.
I think Kyle.
Yeah. We were gonna
I don't know if you guys are nearby him or not, but you ought to hit him up, man. He is one of the most beautiful, and
He got robbed, man. He got robbed in that fight. His last fight. Dude.
It was the same thing with Carlos, right?
Yeah.
I look at that, and I had dinner with Carlos last week, and I go, hey, dude, are you satisfied with it? What did you, and he goes,
No way.
dude, it was the best fight to be a part of.
Yeah.
And that's what Jardine said, too. He goes, would you rather have been Aldo or McGregor, either side of that in that fight, or would you rather have been Robbie Lawler and fucking Carlos Condit? Pick a guy.
Yeah.
That's the fight you want to be in.
Yeah, man.
And so it's kind of like everybody's got their opinion on a fight. Everybody thinks that Carlos got robbed. I don't know anybody that doesn't think that he didn't get robbed, except maybe internet trolls. But regardless, and it doesn't take anything away from Robbie to say that. I think Robbie thought that Carlos won. But it is what it is. The thing is people's opinions about things don't change the things. The fight is the fight.
Yeah.
It's not a good fight. It's not a bad fight. It's just the fight.
Yeah.
However we feel about it becomes like a thing of judgment on it. It doesn't matter who says, three old dudes that don't really know much about fighting anyway, or that saw it in a different way, or whatever, even if they're the most knowledgeable guys in the world, they thought it was one way. I thought it was another way.
Yeah.
Carlos feels exultant. Like, that was a fantastic performance, and I'm satisfied with my performance. I don't feel like my performance was bad, and I tested it against one of the best guys in the world, and I feel like I won. Feels great, and I'll decide what I'm going to do next. And I think that's the thing about life. That's an actualized man. Because the thing is, we all worry about it's going back to why aren't we authentic? Well, fuck, because I'm afraid if I do this, you're going to think this about, look, how dismissive of me is it to think that about you? That I already know how you're going to react to whatever it is I'm going to say or do. Or something. It's like you fuck yourself in your head. You might as well just be true, right?
Yeah.
Stay true.
Stay true, man. Who you got, TJ or Dominic?
I don't know, man. I'm excited. Both those guys are highly, highly talented dudes,
Yeah.
I just never pick fights.
Yeah.
I haven't been, I used to say, I got knocked out twice in competition, and both guys I'm better than. Both guys I'm better than, for sure. One guy, Scott Smith, he's very fucking good and dangerous, and he knocked out 3 of my friends in the same way he knocked me out when he was fucked and he was in danger, and he came back and he fucking, dude, he's a savage.
Yeah.
He's a bad motherfucker, man. Another dude, I'm better than all around. Like, and he knocked me out. Now, what's popular, and there's dudes around me that go, hey, listen, 99 out of 100 times, you beat that guy's ass. For sure, you're fucking better than him. And I go, yeah. And then I go, that's just making my pussy feel better. The truth is, 100% of the times that I met that guy in competition, 100% of the times, he knocked me out.
Yeah, man.
That was that one time. That's what's real. All the rest is just jabber, right?
Yeah, man.
And so, like, the thing is like, you know, are you happy with what you did or not? Or are you going to be who you're going to be? Or are you going to be who you are based on a reflection of those around you?
Yeah.
Just be you, man. Because that's the thing, too, and I think film taught me this in a huge way. Film is like,
That's awesome.
you go into an audition room and you try to be somebody else for the thing, right? For whatever the job is. I talked to a friend of mine afterwards, this guy Darren Prescott. Darren's a director, and he's a stunt coordinator, and he's one of the most talented stunt guys I ever met. And I go, dude, I just didn't know what they're looking for, and I don't know, like, da-da-da. And he goes, hey, Tate, they don't know what they're looking for either, okay? So you go in and you give them you, and you just be you. And that will either blow their mind, and it'll be something they're like, that's exactly what you're trying to give somebody the moment of like, that's the guy we're looking for. Don't try to pretend you're somebody else for them. Go and be you fully, because that's what people want.
Yeah, man.
Be the best you can be. People say that all the time, but until I saw that in the film business, I was like, that's just some hokey shit we say to each other. But that's fucking real life, and it goes in every part. I don't care if you're in kindergarten or if you're in an old folks' home. You just fucking be you, man. And if you're not honing you to be the best you can, you know, get on tangents a lot.
Dude,
But,
go, man.
go
Go.
for it.
Once again, you need to work on your storytelling skills, though, man. A little bit off.
I was sitting in a room with this dude one time, and he goes, it was in the halfway house, you know, and he goes, you got to be yourself, Dave. You got to be 100% you all the time. And I go, yeah, cool. And he goes, no, man, you got to fucking be you. And I go, what the fuck, man? Why are you so up? You know, what's so important about this? And he goes, you know, there's new guys that walk through that fucking door every goddamn day. And I go, yeah. And he goes, for every nut that walks in that door, there's a wrench that's sitting in this room that'll help him, that'll fit him. But if you're not acting like you, when that nut walks in the door that fits your wrench, he's not going to recognize you. And you're going to be pretending you're somebody else, and you ain't going to recognize him. And how's that going to help anybody? And if it's your job to get as well as you can get, so you can be most helpful to those coming behind you, how fucking dare you be anything but you?
Wow.
Jesus,
Right
my
way.
man. Hey, man, I'll message you later on. Send you some other stuff.
Please do, man. It's been a pleasure, you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming on, man.
And tell Derek Sievers I'd love to talk with him. What a master that guy is.
Maybe we'll do a 3-way little chat.
I don't know how to connect with him, but you guys are fortunate as hell. That's beautiful.
Cool, man. Yeah, we'll send you. Maybe we'll do it all together.
What I just sit and listen, man. That's beautiful, man.
All right, buddy.
God bless you guys for doing this. Thank you so much, and be well, huh?
Yeah, you too, man. We'll chat very soon, man.
Yeah, buddy. Be good.
And let's begin for sure.
Thanks,
All right,
man.
man. Enjoy.
All right. Cheers, boys.
See you, bro.
The dynamic Tate
Tate
Fletcher.
Fletcher. Man of
Jesus.
story.
I kind of had an idea what was going to go down, but man, you know, we've listened to him on his show. We've listened to him on Rogan.
He's an educator.
I understand. I get it now.
He's an educator. It was like
Educator,
I
motivator?
thought I wasn't at university. I was at Life University just then.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah.
learning a business course, or it's not learning an exercise degree or whatever.
That last thing you just said.
That was,
powerful.
and he owes us nothing.
Yeah. Well, I don't think the word owes it like we.
I mean,
I
he
think
didn't have to come on.
that's what I'm talking about. He didn't have to come on. He chose to come on, and he chose
But
to.
how much better is our
But-
network and our listening base
Yeah, but
for the fact that they got to listen to that?
oh my God, think about the energy transference. Tate said a couple weeks ago on one of his podcasts about how lucky and how fortunate, I'm going to use the word we collectively are to have a platform to do this on.
Yeah.
To have listen, you take a guy like David Letterman. David Letterman is so talented, so successful, a talented comedian, a talented host, a talented presenter. But when Letterman was on his platform at the highest level, he wasn't choosing the guests. He was everything became the same. Rogan was talking about this, and it had me thinking. He was like, everything became the same. The people changed and the title changed. Hollywood actor, Hollywood actor, Hollywood actor. But are those the guys Letterman would really call to chat with or have on a show?
Yeah.
No, because the network is choosing that.
Yeah, exactly.
So this platform, we get to talk to the people that we want to talk to.
Yeah, Tate's the man. Like, some of it's just sunk in so well. It's
Who you're not around
Just
is
choice.
more important than who you are around.
Yeah.
I've never heard that angle with that before. It's always like you are who you hang out with. You know,
just the passion of the man, like the passion,
authenticity.
he wanted to share, you know what I mean? Like make other people better, just like when he was talking about people with depression.
Yeah.
And obviously something's close to his heart.
Dude, I've
made
struggled
him
with it.
So have I.
I'm sure you do. I
And,
struggle with depression. And I think the more we talk about things like that, the more we can help people who are friends with us, family with us, listeners know it's normal. It's not a stigma. There shouldn't be a title or a weird feeling about, oh, I don't feel good today. You're a human. You're not going to feel good every day. And we chatted at the beginning of the week. Some days I just don't have it.
Yeah.
And it's not.
That's what he said as well.
Yeah.
I know exactly what the feeling is. Some days I do wake up and I don't have it, but it's just that drive to actually change during the day. You know, I've got little steps during the day what I do to kind of, I've got my daily little things that I write down that I need to do, and all of a sudden, once I tick that first one off, I get back into the groove, and I know that I've got a purpose. And to get to that bigger purpose, I need to get these little ones done first.
That's it. It's important to have a game plan of an awareness. Okay, because I lived so many years of my life thinking that's who I was. This person who didn't feel good all the time and then would choose to have an outlet of maybe alcohol, late nights, bad friends, bad food, etc., bad habits, and because I didn't have a plan. I wasn't prepared to have accountability for myself,
Yeah.
and to have this awareness of things aren't always going to go, as especially if you don't have a plan. There's going to be no.
Most of the time things don't go as planned.
Yeah.
But it is having that attempt, and like you said before, you don't believe in failure, but you had that attempt to actually try to get there.
Yeah, this hasn't always been the case. This is recently in my life, the last couple of years, of understanding the idea of failure,
Yeah.
and the idea of failure and the term failure comes from someone else's dogma, someone else's idea of what things are supposed to be like, someone else's plan for me. Are you kidding me? So when I say I don't believe in failure, I don't believe in it because I don't tell myself I failed.
Yeah.
If I don't get there, I don't get there. But I'm molded into a different version of myself, and 9 times out of 10, a better version of myself. And in terms of notes, how we all, one of the things we get to do, we get to interview and exchange energy with our guests, but we also get to learn and listen. And man, the amount of notes and quotes I've written down and names, man, that guy he's put here. He said it's his duty to give back.
Yeah.
The story of the halfway house. I thought I knew a lot about him. I didn't know he was in prison.
He just told us about his daughter. I don't know how many
Didn't know he
people
had a
yeah,
daughter?
exactly. I don't know how many people would think.
Some awesome advice I once got from I call him Sir Max Woods, and he was giving us feedback on when we're interviewing, we're chatting with people. He was like, find ways to ask. He used the word ungoogleable questions,
Yeah.
and I feel that
Well, I think Tate just makes himself ungoogleable.
Tate is ungoogleable.
Yeah.
Because if you just take a man by what you could find on the internet,
He's just got so many sides to him. The
So-
man's just incredible.
there's
And,
so many layers, man.
We'll definitely have to get him back on very soon. Like he's going to give us his time. He's in Miami doing a conference.
What
you know,
but
man.
did you what do you say, paraplegic? But
paraplegic people? Yeah,
or
so
which
they've
is
got an event
wheelchair-bound
coming up as well.
athletes.
Yeah,
And how about the generosity that comes out of this guy?
the guy's given up his time, just like he was saying, like he's got these people that he's coaching, and I'm sure just being at the seminar, how much people have just learnt from him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We just had an hour and a half, 2 hours with him. Just imagine being with him for the whole day.
Selfless. Oh my good. The whole day would be.
And that's the sort of people you want to surround yourself with. People like that are willing to give their time, give their information, and just give their soul to you. Do you know what I mean? Like,
with nothing. You know what? Without any
he didn't want
need of
anything in return.
reciprocation.
He did not anything in return. That's
No,
what
man.
I kind of based myself on the last 12 months is
Yeah.
just giving as much as I can without asking anything in return. And I think it's made me a better person. And I don't need anything in return, but I do see sometimes maybe a few months down the track, somehow it's led to something else
Huh.
that I didn't even expect. And it was because I was so nice 2 months ago without expecting anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and without expecting anything. Now, it's always easier. See, I think it goes back to connecting the dots or having faith in anything, maybe in yourself, of when you're looking at your future and you're looking at your goals, having the faith to trust that those dots will connect. Because it's always easier to, in hindsight, that's the only time they ever do connect in hindsight.
Exactly.
So 3 months ago, you weren't saying, "Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to compliment this person or send a nice email because I know 3 months from now, it's going to show up."
Yeah.
That's not why. And I think that's the most being authentic, generous, kind. With Tate, selfless, man.
Tate's
Selfless.
absolutely
Sometimes I
selfless
felt
and
like-
authentic, as you just mentioned a couple of times.
Yeah, that's the one where if I had to describe him, and I thought about that before I had ever met him, and now having met him and speaking to him, it blows me away. It's good. It's good to know that there are guys like that out there.
Yeah,
he
absolutely.
have the pockets which aren't important that he worked for. Interesting what he said about when people say you're self-made, how offensive he says that makes him.
Yeah, because everyone has help in some way.
But
Everyone has
offen-
some sort of help, and it's offensive to the people that's helped him along the way.
That's it.
So I think that was a great. He could easily said, "Oh no, I've just done it myself," but no,
Yeah.
Tate's not like that.
No way, man.
But let's wrap this up because this has gone a little bit long. So I think this is going to be over 2 parts. So you're probably
Yeah.
listening to us in the second part of this episode. But tomorrow we've got Jacob Durant, Stitch, the man, probably the best cut man that's ever lived.
If you guys are listening, Stitch, he shows up. He's been showing up. I mean, I'm in my early 30s. He's been showing up before I was born in fights, cornering guys, in boxing, UFC, most recently Creed.
Yeah, Creed was awesome. So it'd be interesting to see his opinion on movies, fighting, just the whole dynamic of being a cut man and the psychological aspect before, after, and during the fight. So it's going to be a great interview. But the only way you guys are going to see it, if you want to see more of Tate, you want to see Stitch, I'm not even going to tell you the boxers and UFC fighters we've got coming on. We've got some massive entrepreneurs coming on in the fitness game.
Yep.
So guys, just if you can support us, just an easy hit to hit the subscribe button. Just log on to your
Subscribe,
iTunes.
like, comment,
Exactly.
just tell your friends.
Let us
Seriously.
know what you think about this episode. Send us some feedback. We want to hear. Just as we reached out to Tate on some of his personal
Social media sites.
and he wrote back, our social media sites are our social media
Always
sites.
active.
So we are the ones that run it, so we want to hear from you. So it doesn't matter if I've never met you before. Send me a message. Let me know what you think of the show. If you've got a question for a show, someone that you want to see. Johnny's exactly the same.
Yeah.
Visit our websites. Johnny's at www.therealfitcoach.com. You can get him at info@therealfitcoach.com. Me, Tristan, at tristancannellfitness.com, www.tristancannellfitness.com.
Yeah, man. Check us out on Twitter too. We launched the Vision Board Podcast Twitter page about a week ago. You can find us under name the Vision Board Pod, and then I'm running my Instagram page under the Fit Coach. So _Fit Coach.
Definitely, and the website's looking pretty fly too, so let us know what you think of that. It's www.thevisionboardpodcast.com.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave. I was talking about like mixing up with some ideas and quotes, but I had a quote that spoke to me since I read it years ago, and this week it showed up as by Nietzsche, and he taught, and it actually is fitting, and it kind of the whole Tate Fletcher how he carries himself, and that quote is, "And those who were seen dancing were thought to be insane by those who could not hear the music."
Yeah, beautiful.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I remember being in my early 20s hearing that, and it kind of stuck with me.
plenty of life lessons from this episode with Tate and with me and Johnny. So thank you again for listening. Like I said, subscribe and leave us a quick review. Johnny, you have a great week.
You too, man. Highly motivated to keep scratching the surface of my potential.
You know what? I was just so taken away from Tate and from yourself, and what we've just spoken about. Sponsors.
Yeah, we got
How
a
do I
couple.
leave those guys
We got a
out?
couple great sponsors. The first one being the Organic Trainer. You can check them out at www.theorganictrainer.com. It's an exercise tea company. They have a couple different options in forms of tea, all natural ingredients. They also have a trainer flask, which is basically a water bottle, but you put the tea in it, so it has the brewing capabilities in there. When you're proceeding to the checkout, use code word the Vision Board podcast. Is it the Vision Board?
The coupon code?
Yeah.
The vision board.
Yeah,
Vision board.
it's just Vision Board for
If you
10.
have any issues, email Johnny.
Yeah,
He'll
100%. We kind of flirted with different key codes recently, but I think it's the Vision Board for 10% off. Also, our second sponsor for this episode is Jackrabbit Slim's Barbershop. If you're in the Sydney, Australia area, specifically King's Cross, Potts Point, make an appointment with Dre. He always good stuff over there. There's a couple chairs. Best, I like getting a skin fade. He's good at trimming the beards and just leaving you with a good mindset walking out the door.
Yeah, man. Johnny, you have a great week. I'll be seeing
As do you, my friend.
Oh, actually, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, 100%.
Guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next episode shortly.
Rock and roll.
It makes me wanna creep.
I got something for your mind, your body, and your soul. I got something for your mind, your body, and your soul.
The Vision Board Podcast, hosted by Johnny Stofko and Tristan Cannell.